Yo, what it do? It's your boy Silent362 here, and today we're going to be looking at the Nike Magista Opus 2. Now this boot is a boot for me that has paved the way for what we have today in a Nike Tiempo Maestro. So, basically, a little history lesson, as we always do in these videos. The Magista Opus 2, second generation Magista, and the Opus was the low cut version. And what they used to do back then, which was really cool, which I wish they'd, like more companies did, was they had two variants of the same boot sort of thing. So it had the same sole plate as the Magista Obra, you know, the same like sort of construction. But instead of being high cut, it was low cut, and instead of having a Flyknit upper, it had a Kangalite synthetic upper. So Kangalite is a synthetic that Nike used back in the day, back in the early and mid 2010s I think, which was meant to simulate K-leather. Sound familiar? Because that is exactly what they're doing with tech leather these days on the Tiempo Maestro and the Tiempo Leggera as well. And as you can see, there's the branding right there. Kangalite is very hard to read, but it's sort of embossed into the heel. Now this boot is it was a control boot back then, which is kind of what they market the Tiempo as right now. It's a control boot for midfielders. And this is what they had back then. It was worn by like Iniesta, I'm pretty sure. And it had this really interesting upper. So the Kangalite, to me, is nowhere near as good as tech leather. Like, I'll show you, this doesn't really mean a lot, this test. Is like just seeing how soft the upper is. But it's nowhere near as like pliable and as, you know, it doesn't feel nearly as leather-like as the tech leather. But it was interesting because this was kind of like an earlier representation of what synthetic leather would look like, and it was kind of like a glimpse into the future back then. Obviously we didn't know where the lack of leather boots would be back in 2016, but I think this was around when these came out. But yeah, the upper's really interesting because it had this sort of like bumps going around to add a little bit of like substance to the upper. To add a little bit of texturing. Didn't really add any grip, but it was kind of make the upper a little bit more thick. You know, when he was dribbling, the bumps do like kind of press in. Like I can't really demonstrate, but they do kind of press in. The lacing system was slightly off-centered to go towards the inside, so it kind of followed the bone of your foot, similar to what Skechers do, I believe. And it was kind of a wider fitting boot as well. Interesting sole plate and stud pattern. Sort of these like half conical studs with a little bit of, similar to the Cyclone 360 technology what they use today. To be honest, to me this boot really just is like when we look back on it now, this boot is a glimpse into the future.